Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, August 26th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarification points. Number one, the price you see over here will be moving around and changing. And then also the candlestick you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market is still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, DRUG, talked about this one yesterday and mentioned how this was a key area of resistance. And you can see opening 30 minutes, price came up here, got the break of it right there. Nice move, came back down. Classic example of that resistance then acting as support. And then late day, you can see another nice move, which again is why I like to do these when the market's still open, because check out the last 30 minutes here. Good solid volume pouring in, and the candle is going for this breakout of that $3 mark. So a lot of good things going on here. So let me get rid of these lines down here. And the first update, which I already alluded to already, but per rules and charting, when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So moving forward now, $2.50 would be the ideal level of support, meaning if you're asked, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute best moving forward? Certainly if the price can stay above 250, but as long as the price does stay above the purple line here, the 50 period moving average, keyword being moving. So as that line moves higher and higher, as long as the price does stay above there, then that represents that, generally speaking, the bulls are still in control of the current movement. As far as levels of resistance are concerned now, in the near term, you have this level right here around the 305 mark, and then a 305 is broken. Next key level up here right around the $3.30 mark. But all in all, no doubt about it, very, very nice day today. Next one, Nvda had earnings today and quite the move. Gap down, acted like it was going to be weak, and then just came roaring up that first hour of the day and then has consolidated out, which has now provided a very distinct and very clear breakout point, which is that trend line right there. You can see that 3 times now the price has been up around that area and has been rejected by it. But one big, kind of asterisk to put next to this breakout is even if that breaks, then don't forget that not that far off, you have that pink line there, which on my chart represents the very well-known 200 period moving average, currently valued at 180.35. So like I said, don't get me wrong, that's great. That's a good sign of bullish. Just if the price does break that trend line, all I'm saying is be skeptically bullish, because you still then would have to worry about that 200 period moving average potentially acting as resistance. As far as levels of support are concerned, it's basically a double whammy of support. You have this previous breakout point right here at 173.50, which, as I just talked about in the previous chart, when levels of resistance are broken, they tend to act as support. Then you also have that purple line there, 50 period moving average, which basically they're the exact same value, a little difference, but I think we can all agree they're certainly within the same general ballpark. So keep an eye on that as that key area of support. But yeah, overall, nice movement today. Next one here, ticker symbol KPRX. Beautiful, beautiful setup. Got to like the fact that it showed great strength this morning. Sure, the price pulled back. So at this point, things always get a little bit sketchy, right? Because it's very valid to say, okay, is this the beginning of the end? Is this thing just going to head down and crash? And no, it didn't. It answered that question with, no, that was just a pullback. It was a healthy pullback, and now the price is starting to go back upwards, which does not guarantee anything because there are no guarantees. But my point here is, has it become a lot more valid and rational to think that this thing might want to go back up there and retest those highs, if not break the new highs? Yeah, absolutely. That becomes a more than valid scenario given the context of the pullback leveling out and then starting to head back up. So as far as breakout players are concerned, got to think that a lot of people are going to be watching that 28-cent mark. In my mind, that's going to be a key level of resistance where, again, I want to reiterate, no such thing as a guarantee, but is it plausible? Is it valid? Especially if there's a high volume break of that 28-cent mark, that could, send the price up to those levels and then maybe even higher. In my mind, that is absolutely a plausible thought process to have. For those of you that like to play more so pullbacks, then a pretty distinct area of support at this point down there right around that 23-cent mark, where you can see on its 3 separate occasions, price got right around that area and then did hold strong. But yeah, overall, if you like to play penny stocks, this is certainly one worth keeping an eye on. Next, AVYA, and another great move today. As I talked about in yesterday's watch list, mainly that resistance right there. You can see that it was broken that opening 30 minutes and never really looked back. And with today's movement, a very, very, very nice pattern has taken shape. So let me be clear about this. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply that my ability to draw this pattern is some special skill or some great discovery. The exact opposite. I assure you a lot of people are going to be drawing this pattern. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same pattern and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can certainly produce some very dynamic movement. So I wanted to change that to green to represent support. But as far as the pattern, we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big momentum move right there. We'll put our golf hole down there to make it a little bit more visual. And this would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So no guarantees, as I've said, and we'll probably continue to say, but is it valid? Is it rational to think that if the price comes up here and breaks up through there, that break could create buying pressure? Well, just because it's breaking out of the technical pattern, that's absolutely a plausible thought process to have. So if you like to play bull pennants, if you like to play stocks down below $5, here you go. Next, AMC, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that have watched past watch list videos, but if you haven't, I have drawn that trend line in there, and we've been watching that very closely. And check it out once again, came into play a couple times both this morning, and then as I speak right now, the price tried again during the last 30 minutes and hasn't quite been able to break above it. But that does still bring about the very interesting scenario, because now you can very logically throw out the question, okay, yeah, it hasn't broken it quite yet, but it's knocking on the door. Is there a breakout occurring? And that's what a lot of a watch list is to find unique, to find interesting situations, and not randomly rush out and buy anything, but to watch it, to see if it ultimately does behave in a way that fits your strategy. And I would definitely call this a very interesting and unique situation, because again, no, it has not broken the red line, but it's valid, it's logical to think that, is the breakout going to happen? And if the breakout does occur, could there be some more upside buying pressure? And then like the previous stock, I want to say the DRUG, I can't remember, but there was one, if it does break, be a little skeptical, because not that far away from the breakout of the trend line is then that 50 period moving average here, that purple line. As far as levels of support, nothing changed since a past video, still right down there at $9.25. So on that note, it's been a while since the price did not actually put in any new lows. So today there were no new lows, which is a step in the right direction. So we'll see how this all plays out on on Friday. Real quick, I wanted to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can be used and how it should be used to build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for this free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the web page, and you can get signed up there. Now, one quick note, because it is a live event, couple different scenarios. Maybe you already have something on your schedule tonight. I have 5 kids. I understand. Go ahead and send me an email, because the live event will be recorded. Maybe you're watching this video Friday morning and you just completely missed the entire event. Once again, by all means, drop me an email and I'd be happy to send you a link to the recording after it is completed and after I get it uploaded. So hopefully you can make it there live, but if you can't, then certainly make sure to send me an email. Next one here, PLUG, and I like this just because there's a very well-defined point. In fact, as we talked about previously, well, let's just call this a self-fulfilling prophecy point, because no, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply that's a great discovery. I assure you a lot of people have drawn that level right up there around $30.10. And same general idea we've had before. Nice move up, came back down. So during that whole part, it was the big question of, is this the beginning of the end? But no, it was not. The price recovered nicely and has been building higher lows ever since then. So does this mean that for sure the price is going to break up through there? Of course not. But is it plausible? Absolutely. Which circles back to the whole, that's the idea. Find those unique, find those interesting situations. So very, very nice setup here. And we'll see if the price can indeed get the break of $30.10. Next one, KAVL. I'm going to be very quick with this one because same exact premise. So I'm not going to sit here and repeat myself as PLUG, which is why I wanted to put them back to back. Only difference here, this one is cheaper, down below $2. But that, self-fulfilling prophecy point, we'll call it right here at $1.58. So again, that's all I'm going to say. $1.58 key level right there, because everything that I literally just said for PLUG would apply here. Only difference being the price. Next one, Tsla Tesla. First note, nothing changed. Well, I take that back. Something did change, but nothing bad happened. It's not like Tesla got destroyed and is now at $300. It was just the forward split that occurred. So everything else is the same patterns and proportions and all that. The only thing different is actually the price itself. And on that note, check out the last 30 minutes here. Very, very strong final 30 minutes, which brings about now the first question of this thing is on a crash course, it seems, with that pink line there, which you now know is that 200 period moving average. So right there, let's just call it 297. So 297 is certainly going to be a very interesting dynamic in terms of resistance level. Can it get up there and break through it? And if it does, that would certainly be a great sign of power for more so an overarching resistance level. And I don't know if this will come into play on Friday, but we'll keep an eye on it going into next week too. But that overarching resistance level up there. So again, that's more of a curiosity thing at this point for me, because I suppose it's Tesla, so maybe it will get all the way up there, but that is still a bit of ways away. But before, like I said, you put too much emphasis on that. First, got to keep an eye on that pink line there, 200 period moving average. As far as levels of support are concerned, key level to watch headed into Friday going to be right there at, let's just call it 291.75. You can see that not once, not twice, but three, actually almost four times essentially, the price was down around that area and did hold strong. So very clearly quite a few buyers around that area, but you also got to think that if the price goes down there, you probably got some shorts hanging around down there saying, if the price breaks there, I want to try to get short because I could see the price dropping down through there. Both are valid. Some people are going to be saying, I think it'll bounce. Others will say, I think it might break down. And that's why risk management matters, because somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong. Next one here, AMD, and this will mean more to those of you that watched yesterday's video, but I talked about this sideways channel pattern. I talked about how it was well defined and you had the whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecies, and check it out. Broke the top part of that pattern and then just absolutely exploded. So a classic example of this sideways channel pattern being broken to the upside. But now we have essentially a mirror image kind of NVDA, and that has to do with the fact of that this late day pattern has now been broken. So last 30 minutes, very, very strong, had the volume come in, got the breakout of that trend line. However, we got to be skeptical, and by this point, hopefully you're kind of connecting those dots. Yes, Clay, you're now going to say be skeptical because not that far away, there is that 200 period moving average up there, which does, prompt the question, okay, that's great. Very good step in the right direction to break through this trend line, but it's not like everything is rainbows and butterflies quite yet, because the price is going to now need to deal with that level if it keeps moving up. But again, certainly a step in the right direction, and that's what makes this a very unique and interesting situation, is got the trend line break. So that's check number one. Got this all on good solid volume, check number two. And now the next part is, can it break through that 200 period moving average? Let's see what happens. Next one, NIO, did this one a couple days ago. So congratulations to any of you that took that trend line break that I talked about, because the price has continued to grind higher and higher. And now we have somewhat of a similar situation, but a little bit better, but there's some give and take. What do I mean by that? Well, AMD, the price was actually through the trend line. NIO, price isn't quite there. By no means could you say that it's clearly broken that trend line. But the good, so that would be the bad news compared to AMD. The good news compared to AMD is, notice this one, if the trend line can be broken, has already left behind the 200 period moving average, has already left behind the 50 period moving average. Now, to reiterate, that does not guarantee that the price is for sure guaranteed going to keep rising higher, but it becomes that much more plausible to think that it's got a better chance of rising more and more when you know that you don't have to worry about dealing with any of these, very well-known potential resistance levels. So, I'll give and take here. Not quite as good as AMD in the sense of, well, it's still got to deal with that trend line, but it is better than AMD in the sense of if it can get through the trend line, then you at least have, already cleared through those moving averages. So if you like to play breakouts and a nice little breakout setup here, then I would definitely consider this a very interesting situation, which again, last 30 minutes, you can see down there, nice volume increase. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, you want to learn more about this tool, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Or like I said, if you're watching it and you already have something on your schedule, or you're watching this Friday morning, you've missed it, then the live event will be recorded. So after it's completed, after I get it uploaded, then drop me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to that replay so that you can see what it was all about. As far as these videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make these, do two things for me. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment, tell me what you traded today, tell me what you're watching tomorrow. So everybody, thanks, take care, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you here in just a few hours.